Central Missouri Community Action is a anti-poverty organization, and so it's kind of counterintuitive that we would be presenting at an entrepreneurial and economic development focused conference, but the work that we do is really about moving people towards economic stability, and that incorporates a lot of different things. So we work on a lot of workforce issues, like childcare is our largest program through our Head Start program. We operate housing services, we develop housing, we manage apartment buildings, we have employment and training programs, we have basic needs programs like utility assistance and weatherization. And we tie all of that together. We integrate that in a way that we're creating these comprehensive services so that people can meet their own goals and so that they can be good employees in whatever setting that they're working. And so that line of thinking led us to, in 2016, we applied for and were awarded a grant from the Small Business Administration to start a women's business center. And having the egos that we do, we called it the Missouri Women's Business Center because we really wanted to go big, even though our services are generally focused on an 8-county core area right here in Central Missouri. And through that work, so we've helped hundreds of entrepreneurs start up their small businesses and get off the ground by accessing capital, by going through coaching with our business coaches, by just troubleshooting and figuring out, putting together a market analysis and a business plan and doing all of the things. And along the way, what we realized is that a lot of the folks that we're working with really struggled with their own personal finances. And so that sort of started us thinking about how do we support, as we think holistically about what it takes to start a business, what are the nuts and bolts behind that? And so in 2021, right in the middle of the pandemic, we started a financial opportunity center where we added in the component of financial coaching and really helping people understand how their personal finances through their credit rating and through their budgeting and through just understanding their own income and expenses leads to a better understanding of how a small business operates.
After 20 years of actually being in the finance industry and being presented with the opportunity to come over here to CMCA and the WBC, being able to provide all of that knowledge and everything that I've gained over those years and bring it back and actually affect the community in a one-on-one standpoint where I wasn't able to do that in the bank. And now I get to do this on a larger scale, and it is so rewarding every single day.
The Women's Business Center is the name that the Small Business Administration gives this grant, but we do serve everybody. The majority of our clients are women, but we are happy to serve anybody that comes through the door.
When you start talking about finance and where the gaps are and stuff that they're missing at home, they're not able to make ends meet and stuff like that. And all they know is that they actually really need somebody to just sit there with them. They want somebody to know that there's somebody on their team. A lot of individuals I work with are usually single mothers, and they're trying to face all of these barriers alone, the childcare issues, trying to decide, do I have to leave my child at home alone in the evenings because I don't make enough money to support my bills plus the childcare plus everything else? So as they sit there and they're able to come to me and we're able to devise a plan to just, okay, let's just talk it out one step at a time. Those are successes because they're able to physically focus and talk with another adult to know that they're not alone, that we are working to try to find an answer together, and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It does take a long time, but we're all in it together. And when they start really focusing and kind of like resetting their mind to know, okay, here's what actually are my priorities in life. And as they sit there, like they used to think keeping up with the Joneses and having all of these different things was super important to them. And so when they eliminated that and started living within their means and below their means, they really started to see, a lot of momentum building. And then it put them on that right trajectory. So every one of those small barriers are starting to be met. They're starting to see small successes. And with those small successes, it's all of a sudden you see a new spark in them and that things are able to happen. And, they're not alone. They're getting successes. They're feeling more confident in themselves and their parenting skills and just, adulting in general. They're better, having more cohesive conversations at home with their kiddos. they're being brought into the conversation. They're not left out. So they're now getting the knowledge and stuff. The whole family pathway connection together is really making a difference in our families that we're working with, and the community is starting to see that as well. So I can't just pick one success because everybody like defines success. You can't, because everybody's success is different. So just being able to put like, just seeing that every single day. When I sat behind a desk in a bank, I had no idea all of the multiple barriers that everybody was facing. I had the mindset of going, why can't you just do this? If you did this and, stop making that choice, I didn't realize the difficulty. Like, it's easy to say because I wasn't in their shoes. And then coming over here to CMCA and being able to sit down and be like, my gosh, I was part of the problem because I said, what if you just do this? Well, instead of being part of the problem, I started becoming part of the solution, and it's amazing. And that's why it is so fulfilling to be able to come in here and do this every single day.
And that to take that to the macro level, and in terms of what participants might get out of our session, one of the things that we really want to highlight is the importance of that coaching model that Jayme's talking about. It's great to have grants and financing opportunities and have bankers that are willing to take on a little bit more risk. We're a Kiva trustee, so that we're helping people access crowdsource funding. But the key to all of that working is having a coach that can help entrepreneurs make sense of it when they're trying to balance, personal issues and personal financial questions with their idea and vision for their small business. It really requires having a coach that, we're not telling them what they need to do or what has to happen for them to be successful. We're using motivational interviewing. We're drawing the solutions out of them. And Jayme, by the way, is masterful at doing this. She's had some just amazing successes with the people she's working with. But that coaching model really helps to, we can talk about what resources need to be brought to bear for the entrepreneur. We can talk about other organizations that might be able to assist people in different ways, but ultimately just having somebody that will walk with them through their journey and help them to accomplish their goals.
So I came on board about 2 years ago. I came from the business banking world, and it amazed me at the bank how many people who had businesses that were semi-successful businesses, and they did not understand how the banking world worked, or they didn't understand their money and how to make it work for them. And so as I came on board as the director for the Missouri Women's Business Center, and I was able to just start coaching and building those relationships with clients, I found out that this is also true in the entrepreneurship world, and maybe even more so because they didn't ever have that exposure to the financial world. And the fact that a lot of entrepreneurs since 2020 are maybe the first entrepreneur in their entire family. So they've never ran a business. They don't know. And then we go back to the whole childcare part where, like, out of necessity, a lot of folks have started childcare businesses or started watching a few people in their home, and now it's grown into a business. And a lot of them don't even realize that they have businesses, that what they are doing is a business. So therefore, they're not filing their taxes. They don't have their accounts separated. So they're running their childcare business through their personal accounts. Just some things like that many people think is very common knowledge. We were finding out that it wasn't common knowledge. And so building that strong foundation of financial literacy really has turned into kind of a mission for me, because I want these up and coming entrepreneurs that are really wanting to start businesses, that have great ideas. I want them to have a strong foundation. And so that was part of the reason why we brought Jayme on board, to kind of help us with that and bridge the gap between Missouri Women's Business Center and the Financial Opportunity Center. We're very fortunate to have one organization as Central Missouri Community Action that houses both of our programs. So we can have that deeper relationship between the two programs and really just give that whole health approach to helping the clients really just achieve their dreams and their goals.